Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pharmacy Seeds Network live stream. This is the Sunday night All Things Natural Net number 79 live stream, number 15 Sunday night All Things Natural Net, I believe. Hello, Geeky. How are you? I'm going to pull the logbook out here and we're going to get started. Thank you to everyone who's in on the stream. Much appreciated for the support and the viewers. Let's do it. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. The Sunday Night All Things Natural Net is a farming and gardening oriented net. We cover a broader scope than that as well. This is provided by the Overlook Amateur Radio Club. And we're looking for check-ins, so if there are any check-ins, please call now. I gotta write a script for that. Who knows, maybe it'll be a quiet night. Of course, every time I say that. Yeah, there's somebody.
KD2MQE.
The net recognizes KD2MQE. David, how are you tonight?
KD2MQE, I'm good. It's quiet. What's going on? Not much. A question about, I have a couple of questions, so let's see if anybody else is out there and I can ask mine.
Alright, very good. Are there any other check-ins for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net at this time? Please put your call sign out. No further check-ins recognized at this time, so fire away with your questions, David.
So, Hop, what do you do with it? I mean, we put it into
Hey, Chris.
As pollinator, and this is the third year of it, so it's kind of cooking finally because it was kind of getting eaten and it was not getting high enough. But now it's like this year, it's like totally going up the flagpole. But we weren't planning to make beer with it, and now we're not sure what to do with it. What do you do with it?
Previous renditions, my plan was to make beer as well, but I ended up having to move about a year after I planted them, so they never got established, and I really never had enough flowers to do with that. But yeah, beer's a good one. People also stuff their pillows with them. It's supposed to help you sleep nicely. I'm trying to think. There's other things people do with them, but I don't recall what they are. I suppose you could cook with them. You'd have to use small amounts to not overpower things with the bitterness. But I don't have any great ideas other than making beer, but I think beer is a good cause.
Agreed, it's a good cause, and so maybe we'll fool around with that. But if you're planning on making any, we've got maybe some time there for you too. And I think that's all I had tonight. Maybe just back up to you. Maybe it'll be a short evening.
Alrighty. Well, I would never turn down some good home brewed beer. So that's awesome. And mine seem to be doing okay so far this year. I got to get out there and give them a foliar feed and drench soon, actually. But they did take establishment last year, and they're throwing out vines this year. And I got to get back out there and put some poles up for them too, give them something to climb now. But yeah, let's see if there's any further check-ins, and then we'll carry on. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. Wow. I'm sorry, I think the call sign was KD2GFJ. Is that correct? Your audio is pretty low, and your signal's a bit staticky.
Subject was Tango Foxtrot Kilo.
Tango Foxtrot Kilo. I think that's a KD2 on the front.
That's correct.
right, very good. And your signal is a little weak and your audio is very low, but I'm trying to make you out here. What is your first name, sir?
Oh, yes, that was the important.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat?
My first name is Dan.
Dan. Yes, Dan. I'm pretty sure I've talked to you before, but you're a fairly new call sign in the repeater. Welcome to the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. How are you tonight?
Doing well. I had a question actually that I'm passing on from my mother, wondering if you could find how to grow ginger.
All right, I'm having a real hard time making you out, but I think you were asking about growing ginger. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, fantastic. Actually, I have a video on that on my YouTube channel, but I could go into a few things. Ginger likes warm weather and rich organic soil, and after you plant the root rhizome, and it takes quite some time before it actually sprouts out and grows. So I would say after you plant it, keep that soil moist and warm, not too wet. You know, you don't want to drown things and cause rot, but moist. And if you keep it warmer in the 80 to 90 degree range, it'll tend to sprout a little quicker. And initially, to get it to sprout, it's good to water it till it's moist and then let it dry out a little bit, not tremendously, but a little bit, and that will help encourage sprouting. And then once it gets growing, it just likes good sunlight and good warm temperatures. In fact, I grow my ginger in the greenhouse, and I did an experiment last year with transplanting some out into native soil, and it did pretty well, but I found that the stuff in the greenhouse did better. And my greenhouse gets pretty hot and warm in the summer, and I usually take everything out of there because it's usually too hot for most things, but the ginger actually thrived in there. So there's a couple of tips, and I'll put it back to you. This is KD2 IIN, Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net.
Thank you very much. I'm standing by listening, and that is all very helpful. And I will try to look up your YouTube channel as well, I guess, and maybe in that direction.
All right, very good. And just so you know, this radio net is actually streamed over my YouTube channel live also. So you can always go back and listen to the net later on, and that might give you a little bit of insight on your signal as well. But glad you joined the net. Glad to have you along. And what was I going to say? Yeah, if you don't know the name of the channel, it is The Pharmacy Seeds Network, and pharmacy is spelled F-A-R-M-A-C-Y. So The Pharmacy Seeds, as in planting seeds, network. All right, let's see if there's any further check-ins, and then we'll roll back through the rotation. This is KD2 IIN, Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. What's up, Jake? What's up, Mercurius? Jordan? Hope I didn't miss anyone. All right, no further check-ins recognized at this time. Let's roll back to the top of the list to David, KD2MQE.
KD2MQE, thanks.
Now he seems
and,
loud.
Ben was good to see. Ben was also with us on Saturday at
Was it Ben?
doing something. Ben was up the hill and I was down the hill, so I'm not sure what we were each doing, but it was good to see him there. But nothing further really. I mean, we maybe we're I'm out of ideas. So the hops is the big one this week, and we're loving it because it's totally going up this pole, and it's by the end of each day, it's another
Yes, Steve, I do the same.
I mean, you can stand there and watch it moving. It's just amazing.
Actually, I keep it right in there.
Otherwise, everything's cool. Back to net.
All right, very good. Yeah, well, maybe it'll just be a short net tonight. Seems like a quiet radio night tonight, and that's perfectly okay. The hops are, I really love seeing the hops growing. I've had a couple of friends who grew them, and they had them, growing really well, and they were, up the poles and across, and they are a really beautiful plant to see growing. So, I'll try and get some video up on the YouTube channel so you can see where mine are at. They're they're nothing too exciting at the moment, but hopefully when I give them a good feed and keep them watered, they'll take off. And I'm not sure if I might have mistaken his first name. I thought it was Dan, as in Delta Alpha November, but I thought you were saying Ben, David. So let's go down to Dan, Dan or Ben, and confirm. KD2 TFK, you're up.
KD2 TFK. This is Ben, Bravo Echo November.
Echo November. Ah, very good. Well, now I have it right. So it's Bravo Echo November. Ben, I'm sorry for getting your name wrong. All right, well, it's back to you. I don't know if you have any more you want to talk about. If not, we'll do one more opportunity for check-ins, and then we'll carry on from there.
Yeah, not too much more tonight, I think. I've just been helping my parents expand their garden.
Nice, Matthias.
This round here. I may have some more questions probably next weekend. Irrigation line or tubing.
Irrigation.
I'm totally blanking on what it would actually be called, but running irrigation. None of that is arriving until later this week.
Okay, very good, very good. And yeah, we can definitely address your irrigation questions next week if you like. I've used all sorts of irrigation. I've built my own irrigation pumps and all, so I'm very well versed in that, and I'd be glad to impart some knowledge to you and point you to other resources if you need them. So thanks for joining that. I greatly appreciate it. I'm just going to take one last opportunity to see if there's any further check-ins here, and if not, then maybe we'll just call it an early net. This is KD2 IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now.
This is
K2JLV.
K2JLV Mobile.
Well, well, well. It's been a long time since we had a mobile station here on the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. How are you tonight, Dave?
I'm doing all right. I'm on my way up from my brother's house. Well, just leaving as it is. Making more spindles. Unfortunately, I've been having some trouble tonight. The material's been uncooperative, so lost about 2 of them. So hopefully I'll be able to make it with the material I've got. Okay, so that's what's going on.
Very good, very good. Sorry to hear you lost a couple, but you know, sometimes that's how it goes. And I just wanted to thank you again for that video you did on the soil comparison between mulched and unmulched soils. That was a great illustration of that.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure indeed. The obvious improvement was worth the video. I'm looking forward to picking up some heavily composted soil. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see how the day goes. I've got a lot of stuff going on. But our friend Frank there has a bunch of stuff that's old horse manure and whatnot that's been in the ground for 10 or 15 years, and it looks really nice.
And this is KD2 IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Awesome. Yeah, the horse manure is a fantastic amendment once it's been cooked down a bit. Well, that's good. One sec here. I'm curious, if you take a slice that has an eye on it and you let it dry. Good Lord. And you let that dry out, as long as it has an eye on it, yes, that will grow. Alright, the net recognizes KD2QQV. How are you tonight, Don?
Alright, I didn't realize the garden net was on, and I was in the other room, and I
that's the hard
turned it
part.
up. I don't know quite, but yeah, gardening.
You're welcome.
Going on now in New York, do you know any, has gardening started?
Yeah, some has. Some people start earlier than others, and it depends on the crop they're growing. Typical last frost date here is May 20th, so once May 20th goes by, most people start to put out their tomatoes and stuff. Memorial Day weekend is usually the big one here. Of course, we're in southern New York now. If you're up in northern New York, that's a little different. I have some friends here in the live stream that are up in the Adirondacks, and I don't know. I don't think those guys get past their last frost date till probably June 1st. They're in a little bit different zone. So it all depends on what the weather is and what the crop you're growing is. But yeah. So let's see. Let me just see if there's any further check-ins, and then we'll carry on. This is KD2 Net Control, looking for any further check-ins for the Sunday night All Things Natural Net. All right, so I'm going to go roll back to the top of the list here and put it back to David if he's still with us. I'm not sure if he was checking out or just or what, but we'll put it back to David, and then we'll carry on down the list. David, KD2NQE, pick it up.
KD2NQE, yeah, I'm here. I wasn't paying attention really well, but I'm still here. And,
hey, Bell Prepper.
I want to check out the YouTube channel of this broadcast because I've been told that I might have some kind of a short in my PTT on this mic here, so maybe I can debug that a little bit if I listen to it, unless any of you all are hearing it. And that's it from me at this point. Back to you.
All right, very good. I can't say that I'm hearing any shorts in your mic. Your audio is a little bit low, but I think you're aware of that issue, and I think that has more to do with the radio than anything. But I don't hear any issues. But certainly you could check out the stream. I think you know what my channel is, so you could do that. If you need more information, I'm glad to provide it. So I'll put it back to you in case you do have any further questions.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right, very good. That brings us down to KD2 TFK. Ben.
No further questions from me here. Back to you.
All right, very good. And that brings us back to K2JLV Mobile. Back to you, Dave.
Alright, very good. And as I forgot before, good evening to everyone on the net. I have two questions. One
hey,
directed
Mama.
at net control.
That's okay.
And that is, are you continuing to monitor soil temperatures? I don't know if you've got those sensors back online. I'm just curious if you have any information on that. And then the other question is for Ben, actually. I'm curious what he's running there for his rig, if he's got his giant mobile antenna hooked up to his car or something. But with that, I will send it back to Net and see where things go.
Let's see. The soil temperature sensors are still not connected. I was considering hooking those 4 sensors back up, but I think they may have been part of the ongoing glitching issues I had, so I want to put new ones in, but I've not gotten around to digging a new hole and installing new sensors. I want to make those a little more waterproof and a little less susceptible to issues. So no soil temperature sensors on this year, but I was wishing I had them with this weird season we have, because I have a feeling the soil temps are nowhere near what they were last year at this time, and I'd love to have a comparison of the two. And I think you had another question, but now I lost it because my mind is all over the place tonight, so I'll put it back to you.
That question was directed towards KD2 TFK.
I got you.
I know it's a little bit off topic, but after the Ferncliff Forest work day, we took a little look at his equipment there, and he had an issue with one of the antennas, and I'm just curious if, I'm assuming he's at his house, and if so, that he's making it into the repeater, all right? I'm just wondering what he's using. K2JLV, back to Net.
All right, and I'll put that question right over to Ben, KD2 TFK.
KD2 TFK. So yeah, I'm actually in my parents' house at the moment, where I'm just using the Southend HD. I can hit the repeater no problem from here. I did try out the big antenna yesterday, but I think it's having some problems with the Kenwood, so I have to look into that a little bit more.
Never stop.
Let's drop for just a second.
Nice, Jake. No, Jordan, I've been sort of locked down here still.
So I was actually trying to broadcast on that yesterday, actually about the time that you had a mobile check-in, but I can
were very, very garbled. And I was switching frequencies, and it was still transmitting on the 805, so something was not quite right there. Back to that.
All right, very good. And I will say your audio is a little bit improved there too, Ben. So I'll put it back to Dave in case he has any further questions. K2JLV, it's your radio.
All right, thank you, Net Control. I don't want to tie it up too much with this conversation, as it's not really on topic, but Ben, if you're able to make it in with your HT, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to make it in with a mobile. So hopefully you'll be able to figure it out. If you need any further help, please definitely feel free to call or send me an email at K2JLV.
Hey, YTFP, what's going on? Welcome.
Or anybody else on the radio. I'm sure would be happy to help you with any way they could. All right, back to Net Control.
All right, very good, and I'll second that sentiment. If you need help, don't be afraid to give us a shout. Let's see, also on the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club YouTube channel, which is the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club YouTube channel by name, there is a video that Dave did on upgrading the microphone on those Baofengs, or at least on the remote mics for those. You might find that useful if you end up wanting to improve the audio of the microphone on that radio. So you could check that out as a resource as well. All right, let's roll on down the list to Don, KD2QQV. And I'm going to turn it down because he's...
Yeah, I was just thinking about all those marijuana farms, cannabis farms they got lying around the country. And how they, at one time, they used to get raided, and now they're being protected.
I'm sorry, Jordan, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry.
I
mix it up all the time. I mix names up all the time.
Times have changed.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I don't know. That's not my area of expertise, so to speak, but it is interesting. Well, actually, let's just take a pause here and see if there's any check-ins, and maybe someone else has some comments regarding that. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. If there are any further check-ins, please call now. Alright, no further check-ins recognized, and we'll roll back to the top of the list, KD2MQE. 922.
KD2MQE, yeah, nothing. I'm thinking of John's comment. I think before those places were being raided, they weren't being raided. There was like, they didn't start being raided until like the 1940s, so I don't know what was going on before then. But it's not my area of expertise either. And nothing further from me. Back to that.
Alright, very good. Now we'll roll on down to KD2 TFK, Ben. Ben, I'm sorry your signal got really staticky there, so I didn't catch much at all of what you said there. I don't know if you want to make another try at it, but I'll give you an opportunity to do so.
I think that's all for me. Back to you.
All right, very good. We got that. And then we're back down to K2JLV Mobile.
Thank you very much, Net Control. I'm sorry I don't have a heck of a lot more for this particular net, but I did want to check in. I guess I'm looking forward to, hopefully, among the million other things I have to do, getting that garden all mulched up. I've gotten about a third of the way done, and then I've got to put in a fence and hopefully find some plants. Apparently all of the nurseries have been basically cleared out of all their plants So, we'll have to go see if we can find something. I've got a couple of tomato plants from the boss's wife, who usually buys a couple extra. She never wants to put all of them in, but has to buy them in certain quantities. So, if nothing else, I'll get a couple of those in, maybe some kale, and maybe I'll find some bean seeds or something like that. Just throw in something anyways. But I think we're going to need some more rain before anything happens. Anyways, with that, I'll send it back to Net, and if we go for another go-round, I will be here. KTJLD.
All right, very good. Yeah, I understand the nurseries are quite cleared out these days. And I know we were down to Phantom Gardener to get some soil, I think it was yesterday. No, these days are all a blur anymore. It's Friday, and I know a few of the guys that own that place, and they were telling me that it's just been absolutely insane down there. They're having trouble keeping up just running the nursery, and I think they said they were doing between $10,000 and $20,000 a day in gross sales. So it's been crazy. And I know a couple of weeks ago when we were at Agway, they were saying that they had just gotten chicks in that day, and in 3 hours they were sold out of 250 chicks. And I know it's normally several weeks, if not 3 or 4, before they sell out. So this whole thing has definitely put a twist on things. Suppliers are having trouble keeping up. I know we were trying to get Costa Maine soil. We were trying to get the 2 cubic foot bags there, and they couldn't even get 2 cubic foot bags. All they had was the 1 cubic foot. So it's definitely been crazy. All right, yeah, and I wish you luck with your mulching. I got a whole bunch of mulch raked up today with that nice thatch rake that you gave me. That was very handy, and so I'm getting ready to get things in, but here we are in another cold snap, so who knows. And like you said, we need rain bad. Alright, let's roll on down to Don, KD2QQV.
KD2QQV. No, I just, whoever mowed the lawn out in the yard, I don't know,
exactly,
it looks like the mower must have broke down while he was doing it or something. It's the awfulest mow job I've ever seen, but maybe they'll do it again, I don't know. But, guess maybe I have to make a call the landlord to see maybe he did it and something happened. But no, getting back to gardening, no, there's
TFP.
Yeah, this is the time of year, you know, everything gets planted, tomatoes. You got any vegetables that you can grow in your house?
I mean, not really. I wouldn't recommend growing vegetables in the house unless you have specialty lighting for it, and that's a whole nother ordeal. You really need the intensity of the sunlight. Yeah, the sunlight is really critical. Everything is driven off of photosynthesis, and so if you don't have good sunlight, then plants can't produce high sugar content and high energy and continue growing. So it's not the best practice. There are some plants you can kind of fudge it with, but not the best option.
Okay, yeah, I figured that, because I've never heard of anybody with vegetables. The only thing I see them growing in their houses are herbs, you know, small herbs and things like that. Parsley, oregano, stuff like that. Alright. Let's see, the apples are in the end of the year, right? That's when they come. Well, apples are all year round, right? Or no, they just come out in around October, right, apples?
Yeah, well, there's all different varieties of apple trees, but yeah, most people don't start harvesting any apples until at least sometime in mid to late July, depending on the variety, and then the majority of the crops tend to ripen more out into September, October, and summer even as late as early November. This time of year, apples have just finished with flowers, and they just started setting fruit. So yeah, let's just see if there's any further check-ins here quick, and then we'll roll back through the rotation. This is KD2IIN Net Control for the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. Is there any further check-ins? Please call now. I'd love to do it around a campfire, Mercurius. Alright, I guess we'll roll back to the top of the list here to KD2MQE. David, do you have any further comments for the net?
KD2MQE, strawberries. That's Don. You should totally they're like absolutely outstanding right now. Super fresh, never been refrigerated. And we make fun of the cars from New Jersey at the farm stand that are buying apples right now.
Wish I had the technology for a campfire stream.
At least a year ago. But strawberries, go for it. And next up, raspberries, I think. And that's it for me. Okay, back to you.
Best I got, Bomb. Sorry. All right, very good. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Strawberries this time of year are so much better than anything you get in the grocery store the rest of the year. Haven't been refrigerated. They're much sweeter and tastier. Definitely go out and check some of those out. And yes, raspberries are coming next, and then blueberries to follow those, as well as if you're into wild stuff, black caps in the end of June, right around the same time as the early raspberries start. And then going into July, we go into blueberries. So lots of excellent tasty fruits coming up. All right, let's roll on down to KD2 TFK. Ben. All right, very good. Well, thanks for joining us, Ben. I hope you'll join us next week, and we can talk about irrigation if you want. And I hope helping. I think you said you're helping your parents with their garden. I hope that goes well for you. And hopefully we'll catch you next week. Thanks for joining. 7 3s. All right, let's roll down to Dave, K2JLV.
All right, very good. Thank you, CJ. Well, I was just going to add one more fruit that's going to be coming up. Is probably cherries. They should be coming out somewhere in that same range with all the blueberries and everything else.
Oh yeah, cherries.
So, lots of that good stuff coming up. So, time to make some ice cream sundaes, I think. With that, I'm going to say 7-3 to all, and I'll let you go ahead and finish up the net tonight, because I'm sure you've got a million things to do. So K2JLB, 7-3s to everyone on the net, and to Net Control CJ, and we will catch you again next week, hopefully. This is K2JLB, and I'm out.
All right, thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining the net. Hope you have a good evening, and yeah, I guess we'll just go through our final round here and we'll wrap it on up. Let's see. That brings us down to Don, KD2 QQV.
KD2 QQV here. I have really nothing else to say. You know, apples, oranges. I like, well, I like them both, but I guess if I had a choice, I like orange juice better than apple juice. But, you know, apple cider, apple, they got all kinds of apple juice, apple liquor, you name it, apple beer.
Oh yeah, all those juices are good. I like fresh squeezed cider myself, but you can't get that in stores anymore, and there are only certain places who can sell it, and even those have to do UV sterilization. You can't make it from drops anymore. There's a whole bunch of new restrictive laws on that, which is a shame, because that fresh cider is so different from apple juice, and so much better tasting, and so much more better for you. All right, well, I don't think we have any further check-ins here, and it sounds like everybody's sort of exhausted their thing here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I've got about a million things left to do, and I think I'm just going to carry on with that, and I do have a few people on the live stream here chatting, so I think I will finish up with them as well. So thank you everyone for joining the net, and I think we're just going to say 7 3s. This is KD2IIN, and this has been a session of the Sunday Night All Things Natural Net. The Sunday Night All Things Natural Net is sponsored by the Overlook Mountain Amateur Radio Club in beautiful Ulster County, New York. You can find out more about our club by visiting our website at www.omarcclub.org. That's whiskey.Oscar Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie Lima Uniform Bravo Oscar Romeo Golf. Thanks to everyone who participated. It's greatly appreciated. And a few announcements. So Thursday nights at 8 p.m. is the Thursday Night Net. That's run by Dave, K2JLV, who you just heard here. That's an excellent net, more oriented around amateur radio and technical discussion. Always has good participation and good conversation, so I hope you'll join that. And the other nets we have are an informal net at 8:35 a.m. every morning, the daily informal net. That's run by Paul, AC2UQ. And then in the evenings, we have rotating net controls for the 6:30 p.m. daily net. So check those out as well. Thanks to all those who participated. This is KD2IIN saying 7-3 and inviting you to join us again next week. The net is officially closed and this frequency is back under regular amateur use. KD2IIN will be clear. Thank you, everyone. Hey, Nestor. Quiet night on the net tonight, which is okay. I don't much feel like playing radio tonight, to be perfectly honest. A lot of sorts today. Last couple days, actually. How's everyone in the chat? I probably missed a bunch of comments, but I hope I didn't miss anything too important. Camping and campfires. Yeah, I would love to. I would love to do a campfire stream. I don't know how I would do that. I don't have a cell phone, so I don't have a way to stream live from my campfire site, and it would be a really long network cable to do that. I might be able to do like a wireless camera to the greenhouse, but that would be really complicated because I'd have to patch the stream into my OBS studio here in the house. I don't know, maybe I'll have some more flexible options in the future, but that would be a lot of fun. That would be awesome. I'd rather just have all you guys to a campfire, but I understand we live all over the planet, so it is what it is. Let me see, just scrolling through here. Yeah, I hear you, Belle. I'm annoyed a lot of seeds will be thrown away too, and I know a lot of people are starting gardens and they're probably not going to follow through. Yeah, stock up on some supplies, roving riots and looting to start even smaller towns. 3 choppers in the air there, FYTFP. Chris, where are you at again? Yeah, blueberries, Jordan. I love blueberries too. Yeah, one of my favorites too. Those and bananas in a milkshake. Man, banging. I can't wait for the berry patches too, Bomber. I'm looking forward to the both the raspberries here that I have growing under cultivation, and also the black caps that grow here naturally, and then later in the season the blackberries. I just put a video up with black cap and blackberry flowers that are in bloom right now, and then of course elderberries will be coming along as well. Let's see, scrolling through hard cider. Yep, hard cider is a good one. I've had good and bad of those. Bad is really bad. Good is pretty good. If you've never gardened, Jordan, you should try it. It's a great way to bring yourself closer to the earth and have a little more peace and happiness in your life. It's really amazing how that tunes you into the earth and the human resonance and all. It's a wonderful thing. Nessie, I'm not a burglar of those. I just spread them out all over the soil. True burglars. Jordan. Garden going, but never be enough to sustain me. Yeah, even here with as much as I grow, I can't live on it. I can get by on a good amount of it. On a good year, when I have good potatoes or sweet potato crops and squash, I probably could winter over on it because I have chickens and eggs here. But at the end of the day, if I have no way to feed the chickens, I'd still be in bad shape. We'll put it that way. Yeah, 4x4 plot is a great start. That's good advice, Michelle. Just a way to learn and to experiment, and it's a lot of fun if you have any space to do it. Yeah, don't take on too much at one time initially, because you'll find there's a lot more work to it than it looks like. And also, once you get your management practices down better, you learn how to manage larger crop areas without so much physical labor, because you learn some of the things to do and a lot of the things not to do. All right, later, Chris. Glad you came in. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Don't worry about seeds. You don't have. I know, Jordan, but I would love to have a campfire stream. don't think they stopped selling seeds here, but usually get them on. Yeah, I know Michigan, they weren't allowed to buy seeds. Not allowed to buy seeds. What a ridiculous thing to come up with. But, you know, that just shows how out of touch our air quote leaders are. Better days ahead. Yeah, I hope so, Michelle. I hope so. A lot of change going on in my life right now, so it's a little hard. Yeah, me too, Geeky. My garden has helped keep my sanity, and well, I'll just leave it at that. It's helped me a lot. It helped me stay positive when things are pretty negative for me at points in my life. What is this voodoo talk? What voodoo talk? So it comes so backed up, all the orders thereupon they could quit accepting orders until they caught up. Places like Farm Country. Oh, okay, Mel. Yeah, I haven't tried to order any seeds online this year. I don't know. This has been a really weird season and year and time for me and everyone else too, I'm sure. Keeping it at bay. I did order a couple of, since Geeky says keeping it at bay, it reminded me of eBay. I did order a couple of plants on eBay. A tea plant, Camellia sinensis. That's the plant that like tea, the caffeine tea is made from, and a lemon verbena plant. Which, if you've never had lemon verbena, get a lemon verbena plant. Oh my God, it's one of the most awesome teas you can make. It's got this like lemony flavor to it, but it's so much more than that, and it's so worth it. And it grows so easy, and you can propagate it from cuttings so easily. And every time you clip it back, it grows out three more plant shoots. So you get more and more as you prune it throughout the season. That's an excellent one. I have a video on it here on the channel if you want to check it out. And I think I'm finally catching up to chat. Stores are not able to resupply for the same reason. Yeah. Liquor stores are essential, but not churches. Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's a weird time. I got the tea plant so I can make a decent cup of tea because I didn't want to let my Kiwi friends down, Nessie. That's right. Jordan, if you love lemon, get a lemon verbena plant. You know, that's something you could do in a pot on your porch. And man, it's a perennial shrub from the southern climate, so it won't handle a cold climate like you and I are in. But over the summer, it'll thrive. And man, there's nothing better than fresh lemon verbena tea. As far as teas go, that's like, I think that really is my top favorite tea. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't think I can think of anything that I like better than that as far as teas goes. Of course, I'm a huge coffee fan, as you might already know. Milk, 2 sugars. All right, Nessie. Here you go. I'm going to send it through TeoVision. Black for you, Bomber, all right? And a touch of honey. Gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering about the liquor stores thing, why TFP, and then somebody pointed out to me, it might have been Jeremy, that, or maybe it was Bomber, I don't know, somebody pointed out that the people who are alcoholics could get the DTs and die without it, which I guess that makes sense. It just seemed really strange that like the liquor store was considered essential. But I suppose if you've got a population addicted to a drug, you've legalized and taxed so cleverly, I guess it makes sense. Can't get used to putting on a mask to go to the liquor store. I can't get used to putting on a mask. I get out of the car and I go to go in and I go, oh, that's right. And I go back to the car and grab the mask every time. Every time. I'm still not used to it. And by the time I get used to it, we'll probably be out of it. And then I'll be putting on a mask and people are like, what, are you here to rob us? Hey, Justin Goodearth. Welcome. Good to see you here. Gardening and listening. Awesome. Awesome. What if you're addicted to church? Well, like I know the church my parents go to, they're doing sermons on YouTube now. So that's an option. It's not the same social interaction, but then nothing is the same socially right now. And you know, we do have to err on the side of caution, especially for people who are elderly or immune compromised. We don't want anyone dying because we're just being selfish. you're addicted to church, his house is your house. Well said, YTFP. Hey, Justin. Cheers, Bomber. You won't die from not going to church. That's true. and that's for after you die anyway, isn't it? We will always be wearing the mask now. Mercurius Dalvinidus, where are you at? Glad to have you along on the stream. Thanks for joining us. I don't remember seeing you in here before. So welcome. Glad you came in, and you've had a couple of funny comments, so I appreciate your sense of humor. The mask. Lindsay! What's going on, Lindsay? So we actually ended the radio net a little early tonight. We had very few check-ins. So I figured I'd fill out the remainder of the time with the YouTube live stream people. You guys are sort of an extended family for me. So yeah, and always good chat in here. So why not? Forest is my church too, Bomber. Nature is my church. My garden is my church. For sure. Anything connected to nature. That's where I heal and grow. Literally and figuratively. In the UK. Just watch my stream on RPI. Looks like some interesting topics on your channel. Chicken, bees, water pumps. Yes. Yes. The Raspberry Pi. Oh, that's a whole nother project. I often forget about it this time of year. So thank you. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you're here. Bees and bikinis. What's going on? I love you guys too. How are you? Let's see. Yay, we get more. Yeah, you get more, YTFP. I know. I usually ignore the chat because I can't do chat and radio at the same time. Like it's easy to get distracted by. I read the chat and then I forget the question somebody asked me or something. So yeah, I tend to ignore the chat during the radio streams, and then I do the stream on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. so I can chat with the viewers and interact better, because I realize you guys are getting left out, and I don't want anybody feeling left out. Pulling morning glories from your camera wires and burning them, and that still won't stop them, will it, Justin? Planted 4 recycled container garden planters today. I used containers and repainted them yesterday. Very therapeutic. Nice, Lindsay. Yeah. Our Pi are great for so many things. I just put the Pi 4 in this year, and man, what a difference in architecture. So much faster than even the Pi 3B Plus, which I had before. Bees! Yeah, I love my honeybees. They're cranking. That hive split. I was looking at that. I was looking at all the hives today, and the one that I split back on April 7th is actually starting to really thrive. So I think we might have a laying queen in there now, finally, which is very encouraging. I was afraid I screwed up by splitting so early. Plan on growing blue morning glories. They're an invasive species if you have too many going, Bomber, and they'll choke out everything. In your case, in a pot, I wouldn't be worried about it at all. But I know Justin's growing on a little bit bigger scale, and if they get going, boy, they can really just wipe everything and choke everything out on you. So they're considered an invasive species in a farming agricultural scale. Don't lie, you ignore the chat because it makes you blush. Well, that's true, Nessie. Sometimes the chat makes me blush. For sure. Tonight we're running a little cooler, I guess. Maybe it's the temperatures. It does the soul some good. So true. Uses more power, though. Yeah, I only found it went from about 9 or 10 watts for the Pi 3B up to about, depending on usage, somewhere between 10 and 12 watts on the Pi 4. So it wasn't bad. But being that my system's solar powered, I do have to keep a real close eye on that. And I took up a little bit more because I added a USB hub extension, a USB 3.0 extension, so I can plug in a few more things. Hard to blush and talk at the same time, that's true. And that one stream, I was getting so overheated I had to take the sweatshirt off, and then that didn't help things any. Never seen a man blush in public so much. Well, I'm not used to a lot of attention. I've been in the woods alone for nearly 20 years, so. on the Easy Flow hive system. I think it's a great system. If I had $800 to spend on a hive, I'd love to try one myself. If you want to know more about that, Marconius, check out a channel named Frederick Dunn. He does all sorts of reviews and explanations on them. And tell him I sent you. He's a really knowledgeable, really intelligent guy, and he goes into the pros and cons of them. But overall, he says they're great. But they're just so expensive, and I'm running on basically half a shoestring budget here, so they're out for me for now. I would love to try one at some point if I ever run into actual money. Yeah, Bomber with the Morning Glories. They'll grow up the wall. That'll be beautiful. Yeah. Haven't even booted your Pi 4 yet. Still playing with. Oh. Well, now you make me feel bad. I was going to bust your chops about that, Geeky, but here I am with my Arduino, still in the box. Haven't gotten to that yet. Ain't going to see that till fall. That I'm pretty sure of. Yeah, the beard to hide the blush. I know, but I got to shave and do the haircut soon. Although, we're back cold weather again, so I guess that gives me a stay of execution, so to speak. Just offloaded 22 RPis yesterday. Had a bit of a problem. Offloaded as in sold them. 22 of them. I wish I had 22 of them. That'd be a server bank right there. Easy Flow, same as a Flow Hive. Oh, I assumed you meant the Flow Hive, so I'm not sure, Bees and Bikinis. I think that's what he meant. But please clarify, Marconius. Hope I got that name right. A question about natural insecticide. Is soap and water okay for flower beds? Yes, but I would use castile soap. And it depends on what insect you're working with, and the better solution is balance and nutrition, although that's a simple answer to a more complex formula, we'll say. But ask more and I'll try and elaborate if I can help you. Neem oil is good for preventative too, but expect it to take time and do it in the evening. It will cause phytotoxicity if it's done in high intense sunlight or heat. Thanks, Michelle, that's sweet of you. Put Miracle Grow on your face every day. No, no, no. Don't even put that on your garden beds. Ugh, I'm going to be sick. And so are your plants. Wondering about maybe building my own from wood, or maybe 3D printing or CNC milling. I don't like the fact that it's plastic. Yeah, I hear you. But the bees will cover that plastic with some wax, so I think that protects it from that way. I'm also very much not a fan of plastic. But I do want to get some acorn frames at some point. And wow, this chat is scrolling right along. But I would say build from wood. That's probably the way to go, especially if you already have woodworking tools. Alright, Nessie, good luck with your business accounting and your updates. Yeah, I know. All sorts of things fall behind with the lockdown. Alright, yeah, we'll catch you in the portal, Nessie, which is coming up in about 7 minutes. Bomber, I tried that, but only weeds grew. Oh yeah, Miracle Grow. Yeah, don't use Miracle Grow. That stuff is the worst thing you can do to soils and consequently plant health, and then that translates to your health. If you put Miracle Grow or some chemical fertilizer down in your soil early in the season, you'll compromise the biology of the soil for the entire rest of that growing season. So now you're dependent on chemical ferts. So there's that. Let's see. Aphids. So aphids are the chewer sucker insect types. That is an imbalance. Typically you have excess nitrogen, excess nitrate nitrogen, and you would want to balance that with molybdenum, copper, sulfur. I did a video on this a while back. Look up whiteflies submit without insecticides, and then there's another video. I'll have to remind me, Lindsay, to dig that link up for you. I will dig a link up for you on that. I can give you some information on that. I don't know where I have that information off the top of my head, but I'd be glad to help you address that from a nutritional perspective, which would be the better way to do it. But yeah, castile soap should do it with that. But I would definitely use the castile soap and not just any old soap, because there are a lot of toxins in some of the soaps. As in sold, yes, microcontrols and RPi. You can get a bit hoardy. I guess so if you had 22 of them. So why didn't you just build a massive server bank and then buy a bunch of solar panels? I don't know. I'm just being silly. I wish I had 22 RPIs. I wish I had 22 RPI 4s. I'd love to build a what's it called, where you stack multiple together into a coprocessor operation. I can't remember the term off the top of my head. I got 2 U's for 150 flow highs. Full kits. Wow, you got a deal. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to use used equipment either, but all my equipment here is used. I haven't bought a new thing yet. And, you know, yeah, I mean, you definitely take some risk doing that. But, yeah, and if they were never used, it should be okay. But you know that, bees and bikinis. You've been beekeeping longer than I have, I think. I think you probably have more beekeeping knowledge than I do. At least that's the impression I got. Let's see. Oh, just a bit of hoarding. I think probably 40 or more here. Any hobby hoarding can be a problem, that's true. I wouldn't mind having a couple of backup RPI 4s though, because I take a lightning strike about once a year, and that sucks. Because I wish I had a beard to cover my face. Okay, I missed that part. Why don't you said to put Miracle-Gro on? Okay, Bomber. Thank you for filling me in on the joke. I missed the joke. Imagine having 62 plus RPIs. I'm sitting here imagining that, along with a massive bank of solar panels and batteries, so I could run that server bank, and then giving Google some competition. As well as a whole array of programmers, as well as, well, you know, ad infinitum. A cluster, that's it, that's the term. Beowulf cluster, yeah. The way she goes. I do have a video on my solar setup. Look up solar powered Raspberry Pi at my channel. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask them. And if you want me to do another video or provide more information, I'll be glad to. I've got quite a bit of experience with solar. In fact, I built solar-powered irrigation pumps back in the day. That was a whole other project I did. I wish I'd gotten video of that. Bees and bikinis, good night. Thank you for coming in. Greatly appreciate your support. And yeah, so I do, and I'm glad to talk with you more about that, Justin. And we should exchange contact information somehow here. I don't know if you have an email on your YouTube channel. I could maybe email you that way, or I don't know if you are you on MeWe maybe. I don't do Facebook, so that's out. But maybe we should hook up. We should talk. We have a lot in common, and I think we have similar perspectives on so many things. I'd love to chat with you more. Anyway, let's see. It's 9:58, so that means the Paranormal Portal goes live in about 2 minutes. So I hope that, well, I know most of you people here are from the Paranormal Portal, and those that aren't, I hope you will be aware of it. Come on over and check out the Paranormal Portal. I don't know if I have a link handy here, but let me see if I can dig one up real quick before I close this stream out. Oh, I don't know if he's got a... See if I can find one here, or maybe someone else could drop the link in. Alright, sounds good, Justin. Looks like you're open to that that thought, so that's awesome. Paranormal Portal videos. Oh, no, I guess he hasn't set the new stream up yet. So I'll just drop a link to the channel right now. This is going to go live shortly. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Geeky. You're always on point. Always on point. The what? The Paranormal Portal with Brent Thomas, and he studies and reads and discusses and has all sorts of interesting guests on about paranormal encounters, anything from UFOs to ghosts to night terrors to you name it. Really interesting topic of discussion. Those streams are every Wednesday through Sunday night. In fact, last night he just had 4 Bigfoot researcher guests on and an interesting discussion on that. Yeah, well worth checking out. I hope you'll come over and check that out. And also, I was on there as a guest back on May 2nd talking about nutrition and spirituality, so you should check that episode out as well if you get a chance. Thanks again, Marconis, for coming in. Nice to see some new users in here. Greatly appreciate it and look forward to exchanging with you in the future. I think I'm on the movie chat. Still, I got to look it up. Oh, MeWe, M-E-W-E. You're not going to make it tonight. Okay, Michelle, new kitten. And oh yeah. Well, take care of the new kitten and watch out for scratchy lovin's. All right, sounds good, Michelle. Thanks for the support. Let's see. Secret MeWe group. Well, I guess it's not a secret anymore, huh, Belle? Yeah, come over to MeWe and look for the Pharmacy Seeds Network, and I'll plug you into the other people there. It's basically an alternative to Facebook with privacy and no, data collection, government-oriented stuff in mind. It's like a private version of it, and it's great. And there's awesome people over there. So yeah. Let's see. Bell, now come on, get on it. I'm at your streams. I will check out 10 minutes though, the paranormal thing. Enjoyed the stream, thanks. Hey, very good. Sounds good, Mercurius, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for coming in. All right.